Hello everybody, it's me, BlackStarChanX3 aka Marshall. Welcome back. We're not doing an introverted manga reviews today. Instead, we're diving into a different sort of topic. The realm of art fixing. Now, I'm not much of an art fixer type myself, but I was going to do a review of Phantom Hourglass, and I still am, the Akira Himikawa manga, and the entire time I was doing this, I just was distracted. Now, I was distracted for a very important reason, and it's because of the design of what the Japanese fandom dubs cat-eyed Link. This is Wind Waker Link, if you don't know. I was very stuck on the fact that this man's proportions and the art style just ain't it. It's really not it. So I'm going to try my best in this video to fix it, in quotes. Okay, so going down the list of things that are with this art style, we'll start at the head. Honestly, I don't really particularly hate anything about the head of this art style. In fact, most of the shots where it's just Link's shoulders and up look pretty good, but then you get to the full body shots and it's where all the issues come out. So with his face, the only thing really on his face that gives me pause are his eyes, which are completely blacked out for the most part. That just doesn't really sit well with me, and for some reason, he just is so much less expressive to me than Minish Cap Link, who I kind of noticed it, but not nearly as much as I do with Phantom Hourglass Link. Okay, this is something exactly illustrating what I'm talking about when I mean Link is very expressionless and not in a good way. Pupils give a lot of secondary emotion, because you can have pupils be large or small and you can convey their emotional state with it. Because his eyes are always the same size and always completely blacked out, you get this dead-eyed feeling that he's like faking emotion. Like in this frame, this panel, he's being genuine and sparkly and thanking Celia the fairy, but he's giving the same expression that I purposely drew Dark Link to have because he's being fake and disingenuous, and the sparkles is a joke because he's so deadpan in his delivery. Like, this should not give the same, like, feeling in a manga when they are completely different things. Now I'll show an edit of what they would look like with like our eye sparkles to show them being like more genuine, but like they literally have the same expression and the intent behind these frames could not be more different. So to get this out of the way, I understand that this was an attempt to replicate the Wind Waker art style, but I just find that the Wind Waker art style in a lot of ways is just inherently flawed, mostly with proportions. Now, I have the Wind Waker manga that wasn't released in America, only Japan, and that one doesn't bother me as much as this one for some reason. Like, that one doesn't bother me aesthetically, art style-wise at all, and I couldn't tell you why. Maybe if I look at it real quick, I will give you a better explanation, and I'll intercut it here. Okay, so what I think is going on here is that Akira naturally wants to add detail where she really shouldn't, like his hair and his hands and his clothes, when that just doesn't fit the Wind Waker art style. She naturally tries to add folds and like detail in the hair that just doesn't exist in this art style. She also doesn't shrink his pupils enough, which the art style of the Wind Waker manga does. Instead, she just like makes his eyes like weird shapes or things that just look out of place. And I also don't think she's that great with like physical comedy, at least in this particular manga. So going to his legs, they're too short. Personally, I prefer them chunky legs we get in Four Swords, or the thin leg huge boots that we get in Oracle. Overall though, I like how in Four Swords we have these very chunky tree trunk type legs because they're very proportional to the bodies. Like, I will say, in all of the Wind Waker-esque replicas, Four Swords probably has the best art style in that kind of Wind Waker-esque look, because their eyes have emotion, their legs aren't small, their torsos are very proportional, which leads us to Phantom Hourglass. Link does not have a very good figure. His waist is so low, and this is something that Vadi's design struggles with in Minish Cap. If you place the belt too low on Link's waist, it just looks very silly and disproportionate. And I know it's not just his belt being low on his body, it's his torso is very long, and you can tell this because you get to see Link from almost every angle because of Akira's notorious, upskirt shots. Something else that just wigs me out for whatever reason is how the arms are much too long. Now, I believe this was a thing in the game so that you, can swing a sword really well, but in a manga, it just looks not good, especially when paired with the long torso and the very, very small legs. Usually the arms would come up to about your thighs on more realistic anatomy. If you're going to shrink the legs, though, you should shrink the arms to match. I'd prefer just lengthening the legs, though, to balance it out a bit. Now, the shoulders, I mentioned that it looked fine from most shots, but when you compare it to the full body shots, they are a bit thin. I don't really have an issue with the pencil neck though, since often pencil necks tend to look better than very stylistically thick ones. Unless you're doing a character design that's on the heavier side like Impa from Oracle. Last thing to mention is the geometric style. I find it works really well in some areas and is a detriment to the art style overall in others. And this is only really a thing in this one. And I believe Akira is trying to specifically replicate how the Phantom Hourglass is a very geometric, low-poly game with this art style and this choice, but it makes a lot of the posing look very stiff and unappealing. Now, let's get on to what I exactly fixed here. First of all, shortened his arms a bit, made his torso smaller, made him have his belt higher up so it's not hanging near his crotch area. I gave him longer legs, only by just. Made his eyes have the eye shine. I do think you can make the eye shineless style work, but here for some reason, Phantom Hourglass Link only gives me the heebie-jeebies. And finally, there he is. There's the boy. Hope this was helpful in some way. I'm not particularly an art fixer type person in general, it's just that this manga in particular very bothered me. Perhaps we'll take a look at some of the other art styles. So something to note is that, I love Akira's usual art styles. They don't usually look this weird. It's only Phantom Hourglass that has this very odd vibe, Four Swords and Oracle, for example. Those both look really great. And Link to the Past looks stunning. Really, this is the only one that, just majorly looks wrong to me. I think, in terms of, what looks the best, Twilight Princess is probably up there, which it's, its main carrier, because the story and the general pacing is very not great. But yeah, that was my take on Phantom Hourglass Link and what I would do to fix the design a little bit to make it less odd. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below, subscribe, and if you feel so inclined, comment and tell me what you think. Bye-bye.